How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Petro, the Tier 8 Russian heavy cruiser. Petro is not a ship that I play very often, as many of you know. I just find Petro to be a little too trolly for my liking, especially being a ship that is very AP reliant. Not being able to reliably hit basically everything Citadel uh, is kind of not great for a ship that likes to get citadels and kind of needs to. Petro's HE isn't that great, and more often than not, if you're HE spamming in a Petro, you're probably not having fun. But then at the same time, in this game, there's so many kiting cruisers now, battleships that like to just kite and not really push in, bound reverse, all the above, trying to use a AP cruiser, except Minotaur, because Minotaur is kind of special in its own way. Uh, does kind of suck more often than not. And it is kind of unfortunate, but I feel like it is also because the fact that Petro is a tier lower than it should be, so some funny things had to be done to it in order to make it not busted at tier 8. And I mean, for the most part, whenever something is at its improper tier, improper. I don't know what I just said, but at its improper tier, uh, I feel like more often than not we just don't have nearly as much fun with the ship. Although Wisconsin maybe kind of okay, but then again at the same time we don't really have combat instructions to kind of give it that legendary tier status. And I mean, you can't really have your 30-second DCP and then have your heal and DCP back in like another 30 seconds because we don't have combat instructions, which is great if you ask me, because combat instruction means there's other funny things that we don't really need in this game. Uh, but Venezia does get Citadel. Petro does have slightly improved pen angles. Uh, but yeah, unfortunately, we only got one. I feel like if we got one, then we probably should have gotten more. But it is what it is. We switched to HE because I was assuming the Venezia was just going to kite to the border. But that's exactly what he's doing. Enemy Carno also kiting to the border, kind of sailing in the same direction, or rather opposite directions, but towards the enemy Venezia. We can Citadel Locarno with Petro if he does give a lot more broadside, but he's still kind of maintaining his angling, so we're not exactly going to do a whole lot of damage. We're just aiming for the back half of his ship to try and get penetrations, but strangely we also got overpens. But then again, Petro is supposed to have short fuse or shorter fuse, but yeah, we don't exactly have that. We're also lucky that Venezia doesn't have HE, and instead he has SAP. I mean, cruisers that shoot AP or stuff that doesn't set fires and ignore angling will probably struggle against the well-angled Petro, as the enemy Venezia and Carno are finding out. Enemy Carno trying to also run away now, although he is going to stay spotted because our friendly Shima is keeping him spotted, even though he is somewhat behind smoke from us. Shima is in front of him, so there's not really going to be any hiding. Carno, not realizing this because we're unspotted, is not going to angle enough, and we do score a Citadel. So there is the Citadel that we could get on Carno. He starts turning in away from the border, maybe because he wants to push back in. But at this point, it's kind of a little too late. We get another Citadel, and we also scored 7 of 9 hits, which is honestly pretty good. Although, again, if Petro was the accuracy that we wanted, probably should have gotten more Citadels. And then we score a double Citadel, but granted, I'm sure that was a Pitadel plus a normal Citadel. So that's kind of what it is. Venezia and Carno, as they were running away, doing their best impression of the Chinese Coast Guard there, basically ramming into each other, and Carno dying where he did. Venezia had to run into him again if he wanted to angle, and unfortunately for him, in order to get around the carcass, he had to go broadside and got Citadel. So kind of, I guess, fortunate that we had the Chinese Coast Guard to go against there, just ramming into each other and kind of forcing each other to go broadside. Had they had more room, or simply didn't put themselves in the same square to allow me to just angle towards them at once, probably would have caused much more problems, especially after Carno got buffed. I feel like Carno could have just pushed in, and then his HE secondaries that are, I'm pretty sure Massachusetts accuracy now, would have just kind of burnt us down. And on top of that, I mean, Carno's secondaries are pretty good if they can go against cruisers. Carno's secondaries can pen Petro, which is, well, at least the bow, but the bow is a pretty big bow. Uh, Enemy Holland getting spotted, charging in into our whole team. I'm pretty sure he got caught by Alaska radar. But yeah, not looking too good for him. We had an Alaska and a Puerto Rico chasing him. And yeah, Holland, not exactly the fastest destroyer. He is basically dead at this point, which is good for our team because there is an enemy carrier. And I mean, obviously we have a carrier, but Holland being a good AA destroyer kind of gives our CV a little breathing room to actually go after things that he can probably kill very easily. Friendly Shima, for whatever reason, decided he needed to smoke up from the CV, even though he took 0 damage, and now that he's smoked up and is sitting in his smoke, he is giving the enemy carrier a chance to run away. And that's not great because we were trying to put as much pressure on the carrier as we possibly could, and then maybe kill him off and probably would have helped Shima. But Shima now lost the bar of HP because Hakuryu torps. I mean, he just dumped them in the smoke, and the unfortunate torp, I mean, hit Shima. Had he just been sailing and actually dodging Hakuryu torps, I think he would have been fine, especially since AA doesn't actually get you spotted, and he does need to stay within 3 kilometers to actually spot a destroyer. DDs are for the most part fine against torp planes, but I don't know, Shima decided not to chase the Hakuryu, unfortunately. We definitely would have spotted that Puerto Rico sooner, and our team in B probably could have actually shot at him sooner as well. But now, Hakuryu is basically going to harass our DD, and Puerto Rico being in a div with the carrier, I mean, obviously communication, Shima gets caught in radar, and now he's forced to turn away again. And now Puerto Rico is going to be a problem for our Shima. Ideally, Shima would have, like I said, spotted him sooner, but hopefully we can get rid of Puerto Rico sooner. I also slowed down here because we didn't have any information where that Yamato was. I think if Shima was not sitting in his smoke for like a minute and a half or so, probably could have also spotted that Yamato and gave us much more information. We also still don't know where the other enemy destroyer is, so we're kind of hoping that we aren't about to charge into him. With Puerto Rico being so low, I just popped my radar, hoping that the enemy destroyer is just sitting in C and maybe we could catch him. But now that we know he's not and the enemy Yamato is dead, we can push out, although since we are the closest to the enemy Hakuryu, that means we're just going to basically get harassed by planes until Shima catches up or we're able to spot the enemy Hakuryu ourselves, which is unfortunate. But planes spotting the Hakuryu, that kind of gives us an idea. I'm trying to use the line on the minimap to aim at the Hakuryu as well as where we saw those torpedoes. So we just line up a shot. Petro has some pretty high velocity guns, so we don't take that much of a lead from where we saw those splashes, and we are actually able to score 1 Citadel. Although in the process we lost a good chunk of our HP to that Hakuryu HE bomb strike. But yeah, so we're really lucky Hakuryu wasn't harassing us while we were chasing the enemy cruisers, because then if he had harassed us, I mean, we would have had to dodge torpedoes, and if intelligently dropped, we would have had to go broadside to a Carno that only shot AP, and a Venezia that shot SAP that could definitely pen our casemate, so we probably would have died very quickly. But yeah, that's just one of those things. Carriers offer absolutely no, well, they mostly grief. They grief every other class in the game and don't really offer anything except damage farming for the most part. I mean, there's some tacticalness in getting things to turn broadside with your torpedoes, but I mean, is that really what we want in this game? Not really. Not something that can strike you from beyond what you can actually see. Yeah, not really. But anyway, 3k base XP match. I'd say that's a fairly good Petro match, all things considered. Would have been better if we were able to actually get the CV, because I'm pretty sure CV kills do kind of give you a lot of XP. Hence why there's a lot of DD players that just sail on the border to get the CV, and then they somehow end up at the top after only doing like whatever damage to the carrier. Anyway, we went with like a somewhat reload build on this Petro, or sorry, the build for Petro is more of a reload build rather than accuracy. Obviously, accuracy could be a little better, but I don't think it would have changed much in terms of what we actually did. And I mean, I was just trying to see what it would be like having a better reload, something closer to, I think Petro on PC is like 11 seconds, which is a lot more comfortable. Obviously, Petro here was nerfed. I think the reload and the AP alpha, just to kind of fit into a tier that it doesn't belong in. So yeah, left us a little more disappointed than I guess happy about it. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for the ships you want to see in the future. But anyway, guys, until next time, aloha.